Good morning, Wareham. I told you it is Friday already. Wednesday, I said Friday will be here. Before you know it, well, it is Friday. So good morning to you. It is Friday, February 15th. We have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. Later on in the show, you'll be hearing from Megan Neely, the editor at Wareham Week, on her recent promotion and her digestion of today's story of the day. And also today, if you would like to learn about a local play dates, we're gonna have Sarah Anzora, who runs Play Dates for Kiddos Group. And also we are going, if you're looking for a fun sport for your teen, we have Kevin Demine in the studio this morning. He is going to talk about his new track and field club. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway, for donating the props that you see in the Good Morning Wareham set. So stay with us because the news headlines, traffic report, and weather is next. Rain and wind is today's weather recipe. It is going to be warmer than yesterday with high around 50 degrees. We'll be experiencing winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures will drop at night to 33 degrees and winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. No rain on weekend. However, we should expect snow on Monday. Saturday high at 41 degrees and low at 22. Sunday high at 38 and low at 24. Snow showers on Monday morning. Snow will start early in the day, high at 36 and low at 19 on Monday. Expect no more traffic at Route 3 and 495. The weather conditions are good, and so safe travels, everyone. And now to the news. There were a few news stories over the week, and here are the news headlines. Wareham Week newspaper was bustling with these headlines. State Representative Susan Williams Gifford had been reappointed as Assistant Minority Whip. State Representative Susan Williams Gifford of Wareham has been reappointed to a top leadership post for the 2019 to 2020 session. A member of the Massachusetts House of Representatives since 2003, Gifford was renamed the Assistant Minority Whip for the House Republican Caucus on February 11th. A whip manages their party's legislative program on the House floor. In this position, Gifford will help manage the caucus legislative agenda and track votes. And also, 3 seats are available in Onset Fire District's May election. Onset Fire District officials have announced that nomination papers for 3 seats will be available starting on March 4th. The district's election is scheduled for May 21st. Also, in the same news, the Onset Fire District supplies water and fire protection to Onset, while a separate Wareham Fire District performs the same function for the rest of the town. Moving on to another news, a $200,000 track repair proposal will go before the Wareham voters during town meeting. This proposal to renovate the middle school's track will go before voters at Springtown meeting following approval by selectmen on Tuesday night. The board had held off on approving the request during their last meeting on February 5th after school committee members agreed to add another $25,000 to their original $175,000 proposal. The funds would come from the town's Community Preservation Fund if approved by voters. And we're also going to be digesting this story later on with Megan Neely of Wareham Week. And to another news, Wareham selectmen closed Springtown meeting agenda and set dates. The Springtown meeting agenda was officially closed at Tuesday night selectmen meeting. In total, there are 23 items on the agenda, including the approval of the town's annual budget. Springtown meeting will take place on Monday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. A special town meeting approved by selectmen on February 12th will follow at 7:30 p.m. The deadline to submit articles for the special town meeting warrant is Thursday, March 14th by 5 p.m. Board members must then post the agenda in each town precinct and deliver a copy to the town moderator no longer than Friday, March 22nd. A copy of the complete agenda must be printed in a local newspaper on Thursday, April 4th or sooner. Town elections will be held on Tuesday, April 2nd. And also we had this press release from the Army Corps of Engineers. Replacement of damaged roadway joints on the Bourne Bridge spanning the Cape Cod Canal in Bourne, Massachusetts is planned to start in late March or early April 2019 and continue through the spring just prior to Memorial Day weekend in May 2019. During the scheduled times for work, travel over the Bourne Bridge will be reduced from 2 lanes in each direction to 1 wider 12-foot lane in each direction. Signs, traffic control devices, and police details will be used at all times. Work is being performed to assist the motoring public. Work will take place 7 days a week, so plan your travel accordingly. That is it I have for the news headlines. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. For today's story of the day, I met with Megan Neely, the editor at Wareham Week newspaper, to discuss her recent promotion, in addition to digesting the story of the day. Here was how our conversation went. So you got promoted to an editor?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what does that entail?
Well, it's a lot of the same stuff that I was doing before. The editor and reporter positions at our paper are pretty flexible in terms of what we do, but I'm taking on a little bit more responsibility in terms of how the paper looks, how it gets put together and sent out, and also just kind of being more of the general face that people are interacting with when they come to Wareham Week.
Fantastic. So what kind of changes are you going to bring into the picture? Or how the paper looks? What kind of changes?
I haven't thought too much about it yet.
Okay.
But, you know, I think Matt's style was a little more laid back, and I'm trying to be more focused on
Matt
being
laid back?
I'm trying to focus on being more proactive and having a schedule put together in advance for what we need to be covering, and then tackle breaking news when it happens.
Breaking news such as the car crash, that airborne car crash.
Yeah, which was absolutely insane.
News.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I think what was even better was the fact that he crashed into the building, left, and then they found out later.
Yes. I went to speak to the owners. The owner of the building, the gentleman, and I spoke to the lady who owned that business. And they weren't too happy about that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I drove by it myself, and just the entire wall of the building was gone.
Absolutely. And I believe the updated version of that story that they knew who the gentleman was, and he's been summoned.
Yeah, somebody ended up reporting a heavily damaged car, and they were able to track him down and identify him as the operator.
Wow. But we still do not know the cause. Or do we know the cause of what prompted the crash?
Yeah, I don't think they've said if it was OUI yet, or if he just lost control of the vehicle. I think he did have a history, though, with...
Drinking?
No, with just motor vehicle violations,
okay.
Yeah.
I could only imagine his monthly premiums.
I'm sure they'll be happy to hear about this one.
A car crash this morning that leaves a devastated business and a driver nowhere to be found.
I'm looking around and I'm like, what is this? It's like a bomb went off.
A baffling scene outside his house as a car had swerved off the road, crashed into a bush, and airborne into his garage.
We drove through the left side wall so that you can just look out that wall. There's no wall. The garage doors, so they condemned the building.
Severe damage done to the garage that happened to be a private auto shop business.
To travel all the way here, it took me about 20 minutes to get here, so I'm stressing it till I get here. And then I get here and I pulled up, and it was crazy. It was crazy. It's like a nightmare.
When entering the garage, they found a dark-colored sedan without the driver.
It's crazy how, he just left. I mean, you have to pay for what you do. You got to own up to your consequences, and
Wareham police have not released details of what prompted the crash. However, they have released the name of the accused, Hector De Seuss, who is currently being summoned to court for leaving the scene of an accident. Reporting from Wareham, I am Queen Banda. Okay, so the reason we're meeting here is because you have something better to do on Friday than to come to our station?
A little bit. Doctor's appointments are only ever so exciting, but...
Yeah. Well, thank you for meeting us here at Wareham Week. I love the office.
Yes, welcome to our little tiny office.
So what are our stories for Friday? What are the story of the day?
Well, I think the two big things, one that you mentioned you want to talk about is the proposal to resurface the track at the middle school, which is going to be going before voters at town meeting. And then something else I want to talk about as well was an arrest that happened recently. Anthony J. Varela, who was on the run from Wareham police for 11 days.
I'm reading that story, that arrest. I felt like I'm watching a reality TV. Like it's things that would happen, like, I don't know, in another town in Florida.
Right.
But not here in Wareham. This guy was a slippery one.
Yeah, I think that's what's so crazy about it. Because, it first came out that he had skipped bail and he didn't show up in court and they were looking for him. And I kind of thought this was going to be like almost any other crime story that we run, that it was going to be very Wareham localized and only people who would live here would care about it. But it turned out to get statewide attention that they were looking for this guy.
Absolutely, because correct me, whether he ended up vandalizing the Cumberland Farms, whether that was during his probation or that was prior to him getting arrested. Wasn't he the gentleman who broke the window? Cumberland Farms?
I know recently, the night before he was arrested,
yes,
he had broken into AJ Mark's, broken into 7-Eleven, and then...
Oh, yes, was 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven,
yes. Was 7-Eleven.
Or allegedly broken into the 7-Eleven, robbed the cash register. And then later he was at the Cumberland Farms on Depot Street, that he had come in, employees said he was acting strangely, and then he like punched a wall and took a bottle of water and left.
What could possibly be wrong with the gentleman? He used to be a boxer. Oh, he does boxing,
Yeah,
right?
he
Martial
still
arts?
a boxer,
Okay.
still a boxer, and at one point was a heavyweight Olympic champion from onset.
So
In
he-
2010, the town even recognized him with a proclamation. Like, he seemed to be heading in a really good direction, and then everything since October has gone downhill.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, we'll be keeping our eyes on him. But right now, the bail is set for $50,000.
Yes.
They asked for 25, right?
They asked for 25, and the judge doubled it. Originally, when he was arrested in October, which was the first time he robbed A.J. Marks, allegedly, and Gold World, they had requested that his bail be set at $10,000, and the judge lowered it to $3,500. So,
And then he walked, right?
and then he didn't show up after he got out on bail.
And people were upset about that. They said, you know, if it was $10,000, probably, maybe there was some chance that he wouldn't be able to make bail.
Right, and I think now with 50,000, that
Yeah.
standard's definitely been raised.
Yes.
I don't think they want to risk him going on another 11-day crime spree.
I could only imagine Chief Walsek, what he's thinking.
I have never seen the chief that upset.
Yes.
We have a very good relationship here with him at the paper. He's been very transparent with us and keeping us up to date, and this just absolutely, because he was doing police academy that week as well.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
he was at mine at Forest from like 4 o'clock to midnight, and then, you know, at 5, 6 in the morning, he finds out that this guy is, you know, supposedly broken into another jewelry store, and he was running around until at least 4 o'clock later that day with me. So 24 hours just never stopped.
Okay, so he's somewhere safe. Well, we are safe at least.
Yes.
So to our second story, and that is the track fields at Wareham Middle School, right?
Yes, the Anderson track.
Okay, so tell us the details of that.
A few months ago, school officials came before the Board of Selectmen, and what they want to do is apply for a grant from the Community Preservation Committee for $200,000 to resurface and repair the track. They want to put a new fence around it, maybe build a storage facility if they have a little more money. The plan is to spend $500,000 over a couple of years to really fix up the area, but they're looking for this grant to help them jumpstart the project.
So last time I read about this story, the Community Preservation Committee gave them, I believe, was $167,000.
Their original request was for $175,000.
Okay.
And then 2 meetings ago, they requested another $25,000 be added on to that.
All right. But
So
they did turn down the initial offer from CPC, though.
Selectmen backed off on approving it when they requested the additional 25.
Okay.
They just wanted more information on the project before they went ahead and gave it the okay to go on the town meeting warrant. So the meeting that I was at most recently, Sandy Slavin, the chair of the Community Preservation Committee, basically came in and said that the school and the committee had talked. They had agreed, you know, what maintenance stipulations were going to be put on the school and how much the Community Preservation Committee was going to be paying and what that would cover.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
That was Megan Neely, the editor at Wareham Week newspaper, with her input on today's story. For today's featured program, here is one episode of the Meet Me at the Pure View show that was filmed last summer at the Pure View restaurant in Onset. On this episode, Sarah and Zora of Playdates for Kiddos talks about her local Playdates group. Take a look. welcome to Greetings from the Peerview, filmed right here at the Peerview restaurant in Onset. With me, your host, Queen Vanda of WCTV, and
George Sheeny.
And joining us for episode 8 is Sarah and Zora, who organizes special playdates for children with disability. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
So, let's start with knowing who Sarah is. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you started these special playdates.
Well, I have three kids, my own juvenile delinquent all-star team, and I have two of my boys. My older daughter is 10 and a half, going on 35. She's fine, would like to run the household by herself. But my two younger boys, they're 7 and a half.
Yeah.
And they have some social emotional issues stemming from some trauma that they've gone through.
Okay.
And it's hard for them to make friends.
Oh.
They have pretty much alienated everyone in their classroom. There are instances where they've had to clear the classroom of all their classmates. They have lots of behaviors, and they're not the only kids out there that do that. So to tell you where this idea came from, couldn't tell you. It was just kind of like, wouldn't it be great if there were other kids that we could associate with? So I just kind of put it out on Facebook that, like, hey, let's all get together. And
But all this are for parents in Wareham, correct?
parents in Wareham and surrounding areas. Like the play dates, we started out going, all the play dates are in Wareham and surrounding towns. Like we'll go discuss it when we don't have to pay to park there. We go to Sagamore Beach, the Clark Road Playground. We'll go to, today there's a play date at Monument Beach Playground. Trying to think of the areas around, but we try to stay mostly in Wareham.
Okay.
Because none of us like to drive far.
Yeah.
You know, especially with special needs kids, you got to get them in the car, you got to get them to where they're going, you got to pack snacks. Everyone likes snacks.
Now, in regards to recreational activities or just these social gatherings, do you find it hard to find venues that actually bring everyone to play, or have you noticed that there's abundance of parks or things that you haven't really realized until you started kind of looking around?
I found until I started trying to find where are the playgrounds around here. I found Bourne has that inclusive play space that is a big hit now with the zip line. The splash pad was kind of a one-hit wonder for a while.
Was that in Buzzards Bay?
Yeah, till the toe incident of 2018.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good parks out there that have a lot of amenities that a lot of us didn't know about.
Oh, so what I'm gathering, and I don't know about you, George, that it's not only settling play dates, but it serves as a support group for all the parents with kids with special needs. Okay. All right, so you guys do more rather than just say, let's get together on a Tuesday so our kids can play.
Yeah, and when we do get together on that Tuesday for the kids to play, there's a lot of support for the parents. While the kids are playing, we kind of push them to the side. Okay, go play, and then the grown-ups get to talk. Special needs communities they're small, and you don't get to talk to other grown-ups very often. A lot of times you're sheltered in your own home. One of our parents, I think it was Dawn, that said, she's like, I don't have to, my defenses aren't up when I go out with all the other special needs parents at these playgroups. They understand my kids. They understand if one of my kids has a meltdown, I don't have to explain.
Wouldn't it be best to have other kids who are not special needs so they can also interact and be aware that there are kids of special needs and how they behave?
Yeah.
So do you welcome that?
Oh, we definitely do.
Okay.
We more the merrier is our policy. We try to get as many kids as possible. We invite regularly abled, however you want to phrase it, whatever the new PC term is today.
There's a lot of terms.
There really are, and you're always stepping on someone's toes.
Do you feel the need to also comply with the PC terms? I mean, you have children with special needs. I think you should have the right to say whatever it is.
We really don't.
Really? Because one thing somebody says, oh, don't say that. Well, look at my child. You know, I can say it.
We really don't. We call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And we try to find like one term, and one term doesn't fit all, but we try to find something that fits, and it never does.
Yeah.
And you're always going to bother someone with something. Even inside the group, there's always one person that's going to be like, well, you shouldn't. Like, I get called out for calling my kids a juvenile delinquent all-star team. I've been calling them that since they were 0 months old. You just can't. You can't please everyone, and you got to stop trying.
Yeah, okay. Now, how you talked about the open group on Facebook that anybody can join, basically. So it's just how the way to get into these play dates is just to say to join first, or just to show up.
The play dates themselves are only open to the members of the group. The page that's public to everyone just talks about our group and what it is.
Okay.
So to know about what play dates are going on and what's happening, you have to join the group.
Gotcha.
As this grows, as you notice more and more members joining, would you maybe start to make this maybe like a non-profit organization? Do you have like future goals for this, things of that nature?
That would be great as long as the parents don't have to pay any money at all.
Gotcha.
Now, these children with disabilities are going to grow up and become adults with disabilities. Any plans on how to address that? Right now, you are addressing it with a play date. How about in the future? Have you discussed that at all?
Yeah, we have a couple kids. A lot of parents commonly ask questions to the group is, what are the ages of kids in these groups? Like my kid is 12 and still has these social needs. You know, what are the ages of other kids? And so we'll have people pipe in, well, my kid's 11, my kid's 13, and they'll get together and kind of go off on their own, you know, they'll connect. Aging out into like the magic age of 22, when you go with guardianship or the child lives on his own or things like that. We have, one of us just posted something about that, starting a discussion around, you know, my child is 21 now. What does it look like when they're 22? And a lot of us who even have 6, 7, 8-year-olds, we start thinking about that early on because it's going to come.
Now, what do you urge the public to know?
The biggest thing I can think of is that we used to see a kid or even an adult that looked a little different, and you tell your kid, don't stare, don't stare. And, you know, think differently. Think of like, say hello.
Yeah.
You know,
Interact rather than ignore.
Yeah, don't just not stare at them. You know, they're a person just like you are. Go up, say hi, go anything. Treat them just like any other individual. That's what they want.
Sarah, thank you so much for coming to our show this morning. George, do you have anything to add?
No, I just think it's amazing that how you're gathering such a following, a social outing. It shows that, you know, a lot of people share the same concerns and interests in a show. It's great to show that you're having a following, a gathering.
To our viewers, thank you for joining us in another episode of Greetings from the Pier, filmed right here at the Pier View Restaurant in Onset. With me, your host, Queen Banda of WCTV, and
George Cheney.
And joining us today was Sarah Anzora, who organizes special play dates for children with disability. And you're all welcome. So if you have more questions for Sarah or you want to know more about what she is doing, please feel free to contact her. From the Pier View, I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye. So I did a little oops there. I said, meet me at the Pier View, but it was greetings from the Pier View, filmed at the Pier View Restaurant in Onset. I did a similar show the summer before that, which was greetings. No, this one was meet me at the Riverside Cafe. So yes, anyways. So that was Sora and Zora talking about the play dates for kiddos. If you are interested, do please reach out. She is on Facebook. If you are involved with any Facebook related page, Wareham related page on Facebook, such as Wareham Matters, which is now Matters of Wareham, Wareham Speaks Out, Wareham Free, any of those, she's involved there. So you'll be able to reach her very easily. So welcome back. This is Good Morning Wareham. We are filming live from our WCTV studio. And this is your source for local news, weather, traffic report, and more information. So now we're going to go to our favorite segment of this show, that is This Moment in History. So let's take a look at where we were today in history. Have you ever had your DNA tested to find out where you're from? Who was there before you? Have you ever thought of what your DNA may reveal about you? I personally never done that. From Tanzania. I know every single member of my family is from Tanzania. Nobody, in or out. So I think 100% Tanzanian, 100% African. But if you're curious, maybe it will be a cool project. You can do it. You can have a party with your family, to find out the answers. Some answers may shock you, so be careful. So on this day, on February 15th, back in 2001, the first draft of the complete human genome was published in the scientific journal, Nature. The Human Genome Project was a wide-scale effort to document the entirety of the person's DNA sequence, which includes over 3 billion nucleotides. These nucleotides give a blueprint for the creation of every protein your body needs. The project took a decade to complete, finishing in 2003. The cost was hundreds of millions of dollars. However, today, with technological advancements, a person can get their genome sequenced in an hour for just $1,000. And of course, there are a lot of sites that would do this for you. So yeah, it's easy. I think it would be cool if you want to find out, or if you want something to do with your family. I think it would be cool. So to another historical fact today. In 1903, this is 116 years ago today, the first ever teddy bear is sold, named after the then president, Theodore Roosevelt, which I am finding out about this today. I didn't know that the teddy bear was named after the president. So it's kind of cool. The toy store owner, Morse Mitchum, created the lovable toy. It is said that the creation of the toy was inspired by the story of Roosevelt, an avid hunter, finding an old black bear tied to a tree. While some insisted that he killed the animal, Roosevelt declared that he could not be proud killing a bear in such a state. So he set it free. Today, of course, the teddy bear is the staple of any kid's toy box. And of course, yesterday, we celebrated Valentine's Day. To all of you who had somebody to say, I love you. I'm sure you bought a teddy bear in addition to some flowers, or somebody got your teddy bear in addition to some flowers. So yeah, this is a big deal. And I'm happy that I learned this fun fact. And we're going to continue with our birthday tradition. Each day we celebrate famous people's birthdays. We select 2. So today's 2 powerful historical figures share their birthday. In 1564, Galileo Galilei was born in Italy 455 years ago. Galileo was a revolutionary mind known for his contributions to astronomy, physics, and engineering. He was arrested and sentenced to life in prison in 1633 because he stated his belief that the earth revolved around the sun and not vice versa. He ended up dying in 1642 at the age of 77. And we all know today whose theory was right. I hope you know whose theory was right. And to another person celebrating their birthday today, in 1820, Susan B. Anthony was born, a political activist. She was born in Adams, Massachusetts. She partook in many social issues like ending slavery, the temperance movement, and the fight for women's suffrage. Though she died before the 19th Amendment was passed, her efforts were honored by putting her face on the silver dollar coin in 1979, making her the first woman to be given the honor in America. And happy birthday to everybody celebrating their big birthday today. Before we end this Day in History segment, I would like to share this public announcement. Wareham Middle School was closed Wednesday, Thursday, and of course today, Friday, due to a roof leak that happened over the week. So next week, the kids are going to go to their February break. So there won't be any school, and of course, Wareham Middle School will use this time to fix everything up and to get the school ready when the kids come back. My interview was supposed to take place yesterday with Ms. Tracy Cote, the new Wareham Middle School principal, but that did not happen once again because her hands are tied with what is happening at the middle school. So I'll have that interview once the break is over on the 25th, that Monday when students come back to school. I'll sit down with her to have that interview. With that said, I will not be airing her interview next week as promised, but I'll find something else for you. So once again, that is it for Today in History segment. To learn more about cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The coffee segment is next. But first, let's take a look at our events calendar. So this is our coffee segment. Let's have that intro, please. Intro there, the work of Jason and Noah, our part-time employees here at WCTV. So welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news and more information. We are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio, our 505 Main Street, Wareham. With me is Kevin Demine. Yes?
Yes,
okay.
It's Demine.
Demine, thank you very much. Kevin is here to talk about his track and field club that he's looking to bring here to Wareham, to involve Wareham youth who wants to get involved and who wants to stay in shape while they are keeping their eyes on other prizes. So welcome.
All right, nice to be here.
Nice to be here?
Yeah.
How was your commute this morning?
Well, yeah, I just live over the bridge, yeah,
Okay.
So it's never too far for me.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the way I got in touch with you, you spoke to Lou Brito,
Yes, I did.
and then Lou forwarded the email to me. And so tell us about what you're looking, what's your track and field club?
Or is it the track and field club itself? It's called the Born Warriors. It's a summer competitive youth track and field club open for both males and females between age 5 and 18. And it's associated with both AAU and USA Track and Field, which those are a big association, that the Olympians we know today train through and compete in, and we have it open for anybody, for any reason, to get in shape, train for other sports, to know more about track and field itself, and get a chance to compete at the national competitions, including the Junior Olympics itself.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is your first time hosting or managing this track and field club. So tell us about your background, how you got into this.
I started track and field sophomore year in my high school which, that very first time I was so nervous and I wasn't too sure good with sport itself till my coach in junior year encouraged me to keep going along with it, which finally surprised that I actually turned out good it was and developed passion for it. So I was able to compete well competitively, good enough to able to run for Salisbury University 3 years with them. And I actually went studying for exercise science and minor in athletic coaching. After I graduated from Salisbury, I went to coach 2 years at my high school as a supportive coach pretty much, but after I finished coaching with was in my old high school, I went to another high school that was nearby, which it was a big transition since it's a different school and all that.
Yeah.
But it was like saying during the winter time, like indoor season, I actually had step up a lot more, which I first started training the sprinters and I just did my best, train them best as I could, and some improvements. But I find surprisingly before outdoor season came, the athletes themselves want me staying on to coach them and all that, which I did, and apparently it was a big improvement into the outdoor season, spring season that would be, and they have huge improvements on times, and including the 2 individuals that qualified for the New Balance Outdoor Track and Field Championship.
Okay. So you kind of continued, right? You played, you were in track and field in high school.
Yes.
You loved it.
Yes.
Then you decided to stay. So you talked about training.
Yes.
And I never played sports.
Yeah.
I told you before our interview started, that is,
Yeah.
I I joined track and field in high school.
Yeah.
I did it for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
I was not even running. I don't know what was I doing. I was throwing things.
Oh, yeah, shot put was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did it for 3 days. And I was like, that's it. 'Cause it was, they said spring sport, but then it was cold. And I wasn't about to deal with that. And once you finish, you have to wait other students to finish as well before you could all leave.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I do not know much about track and field. So when you talk about coaching, what does that entail? How do you coach them to improve in their art?
I just worked very hard, you know, always I did a bunch of research, what's the proper training, and, you know, I went back, remembering through what type of trains that really work well for me, and I actually bought a lot of encouragements, and, you know, I actually have their goals, you know, reach like higher goals than they set, you know, just a way to motivate them to push themselves, which at the end of the season they actually show not appreciation for encouraging them and pushing themselves not more, which, you know, that helped them through both physically and mentality, which I find great thing about track itself. It helps you challenging both physically and mentally, and really helps you build up to good character.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it like the screaming, like, you better run, I better not see you stop? Or how do you get into their minds?
Was it just like when coaching, and well, I would say during me too, I would always yell at them to push and all that, like you said, you know, keep going and all of it. But they like just develop like really strong character, and knowing, you know, they always had to keep pushing till they cross that line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you taught with your Born Warriors Track and Field Club, what it offers is a chance for students to get in shape, right?
Oh, yeah.
You work with all types of students, right, who are playing different sports.
Yes.
Okay. So you give them a chance to get in shape or stay in shape.
Oh, yeah.
And for those who love track and field, they get a rare opportunity, and that is to compete nationally, right?
Yes.
And what does it take for somebody to compete nationally?
Was it just like have strong commitment, you know, train really hard, you know, keep their mind set to their goals, and just always, you know, see what it takes, you know, to hit the qualification to the national competition itself. And it's just a really great sport, give you, you know, lots of opportunity to reach that level. And I think too, like, it's a really big sport too for those who try and like push themselves to compete in the collegiate level, because right now the college coaches itself now love to see athletes who do multiple sports, which track and field itself is like the most popular sport they look at, because they could see, you know, how the speed and power and any other types that help, you know, with their performance, you know, in the collegiate level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does track only involve running, or there's more to it?
There's more to it. There's jumping and throwing to it too, which I'm actually still looking, you know, find fairly passionate coaching, which there's like hopefully one particular for jumping itself, which I think, you know, would be strong with, you know, sprints, distance, jumping, and, you know, hopefully, you know, we have somebody really help with throwing also.
Okay.
So, and since, you know, it's a very first time, you know, starting, it's in the building phase, and, you know, hopefully later on it will continue building really well.
Very good. So first of all, congratulations for what you have accomplished so far.
Oh, thank you.
This is going to be your baby to some extent, right? You're the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're no longer assisting somebody else. This is your baby here. So tell me about your mission. You are trying to reach out to different neighborhoods, right?
Yes.
Whom are you trying to reach out to?
Definitely in the Wareham area, Bourne, like anywhere within Cape, even outside the Cape itself, like probably like Plymouth, was New Bedford, Fall River, just anybody who's willing to travel, for this big opportunity to train at the national level.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So where will the practice be taking place?
It would be held at the Jackson Track and Field facility at the Bourne High and Middle School, which is at 75 Waterhouse Road in Bourne, Massachusetts. So just pretty much go over the Bourne Bridge itself and, take the first exit off the roadway and should like reach the high school and middle school over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when does the first practice begin?
It will start on May 6th of 2019, and we have the ideal practice from 6 to 8 p.m. in the evening, but we will have any participants sign up on that day starting at 5 p.m. so they could like get all the forms and anything they need, to be eligible to be part of the club and, able to compete throughout the summer.
Yes. Now, where you are coming from, you said you came from D.C.?
Yeah, from the Washington, D.C. area.
Washington, D.C. area, and their track is really big, right?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Actually, like for starting next week, they have their states meet, and, Maryland has, great number of national competitors, which actually was it recently, like 7 out of 8 athletes who were chosen to compete in the big international meet in Iceland came from the DC area.
Okay, so you are looking to bring the same enthusiasm here in the Cape, I should say, right? In Massachusetts. Fantastic. So, any challenges along the way that you've been facing?
Well, I always figured there's always challenges, It's like you always see challenges throughout, the work or career or whatever. So I always expect, there would be new challenges and, just like hopefully overcome those challenges and, help for anybody who participate, overcome and, just help find, what they're best at. We just hugely believe everybody has greater potential in them, and we'll hopefully bring out those greater potential out of them and, help them realize what they're best at, later in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are the right candidates? So tell us about the age. Who's the right candidate? Whom are you looking for here?
Was it, like I said, just anybody between age 5 and 18?
Okay.
And, anybody who has big passion for sports, who's looking to get themselves better. And hopefully we have a good number of kids who would end up, have huge compassion for track itself and help, bring the popularity within the area too.
So you're going to be coaching 5-year-olds?
Yeah.
Wow. Are those like hard to control?
Was it, like I said, there's always challenges, so.
It's always going to be like a babysitting. You're going to have one group, you tell them to run, they run. You have another group, you have to give them candy first. Like, okay, listen, there's an incentive here if you run.
Yeah. Well, figure, they get to see how fun the sport is also. So, just like see, the fun side and the competitive side of the sport.
And, let's talk a little bit about the, the benefits to running. Yes, you get to stay in shape, but what else do you get out of it?
There's like so much benefits out of it, like, you know, good character building, self-esteem, you know, build up leadership, self-confidence. I think it really helps you challenge you both physically, mentally, and I think, you know, there's so many aspects in the sport itself you could use later in life. Like, you know, you just helps you realize the value of hard work and where it could take you and all of it.
You know, just hearing you describe that motivates me. I feel like I should go back to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't run at all,
Oh,
okay?
right.
I will do power walking.
Oh,
If
wow.
you ever start a power walking club, I'll be
yeah.
the first person to enlist.
Was it, there was speed walking competition, so.
I saw those.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine doing this.
Yeah.
You know, that to me looked a little bit funny. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure they put in a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah, they
into
definitely
it.
do.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm saying, like, I'm not a runner, but I can understand some of the things that you've mentioned, the benefits, the self-esteem, just building your character and working towards a specific goal. How many students, how many people are you looking to sign up? How many can you handle?
Was it just like handle as many as they just as many who's able to come out, you know. Actually, like, there's the nearest track club is Brockton Track Club, and apparently, like, they're on their third year, and I think about each year they had at least 300 kids came out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're hoping for as well.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Was it I expect at least 30 kids, but if you like reach up at least 100, that would show a great outcome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much for coming into our studio to talk about your track and field, the Bone Warriors.
Yeah.
When practice start, I'll be there so I can, you know, to talk more about this, and we can see in action your coaching and what the club looks like. So thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, I thank you very much, and it's been really great being here.
Thank you. To my viewers, thank you for joining us in another episode of Good Morning Wareham. You just heard from Kevin Demeen, who is going to be running the Bone Warriors Track and Field Club, and he's looking for members, for runners, 5 up to 18 years of age. So if you're a parent, you're a grandparent, you have kids at home and you're looking for something for them to do, reach out to Kevin and see how Kevin can help, he can help them. We are not going to have a show on Monday because it is President's Day, which means I'm not going to be here, which means you're not going to see Good Morning Wareham. But we'll be back on Wednesday and we'll continue as usual. If you missed us this morning, do not cry, because the show will re-air this evening at 6 p.m. And with that, Wareham, I bid you a good morning and a happy long weekend to everybody who can have a long weekend. Thank you. Bye.